Hey folks, this is a little update for you concerning the song Minor Swing. It's proper chords to minor swing. I did this video before a couple of years ago. Now I have like a lot of material. Check out the links in the description. You can download my package Master the Song Minor Swing and you will receive 4 solo choruses with typical licks, pretty fancy stuff, and also all chord diagrams written down, demonstration videos of the solos, everything you need. So I will play a couple of choruses to show you what I mean by playing the idiomatic chord voicings, and I will try to do some variations that are typical, and afterwards I will discuss it with you. And if anything is too fast, please remember that you can always stop the video, watch it again, and that you can just like purchase the diagrams so that you won't get lost. So Minor Swing is a song by Django Reinhardt, and basically it contains 3 chords, which is A minor, D minor, and E dominant 7. But for these chords you can play a lot of different voicings, and of course there are some progressions that can be thrown in between to, let's say, make the form a little more exciting. Which doesn't mean that this is always the right thing to do. If you learn rhythm guitar, try to keep it in the pocket. That's very important, especially in first place when you just start out playing. So I will try to do some things which might be a little too much. I wouldn't play like this probably in a real playing situation, but just to show you what's possible. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So that's kind of the minor swing. So one of the first chords that I consider when playing rhythm guitar is a very simple one, only containing 3 notes. And this is a typical sound of gypsy jazz. And I'm playing an A note with my middle finger on the low E string. I mute the A string with the same finger. Then I play an F sharp with my index, 4th fret on the D string. And I play a C, 5th fret on the G string with my ring finger. That's all the notes, all the rest is muted. That chord is gold in that song. Because in the 5th fret, and when I say 5th fret, I'm always talking about the finger pressing down the lowest note or the bass note. So when I say 5th fret, I mean 5th fret with my middle finger. The index is playing 4th fret, but I'm thinking in 5th fret because here's the root. So I'm playing A minor 6. Just by moving it up to the 10th fret, I can achieve a D minor 6 chord. And the very good thing about that voicing is it can be a lot of chords. It could be a D minor 6 chord. It could be a D dim chord. Because the 5th is not, it doesn't contain the 5th. So, and D minor 6 and D dim concerning the root, the 6, and the 3rd are the same chords. It can also be a G dominant 7 chord with D in the bass. You see? G dominant 7 with D in the bass. Which leads us to the third chord of the form, E dominant 7. So I can just move this voicing to the 7th fret and playing E dominant 7. And as a beginner who's just sneaking into the world of gypsy jazz, you could play minor swing with only these 3 chords using the same voicing over and over again. Look at that. Sounds absolutely perfect. Instead of the B flat here, I choose 2 bars of E. Even still using the same voicing, you could make things more interesting by using little walking bass movements. And they are easy to figure out, you know, because actually you just move to the 10th fret by playing some chords in between, which would be, for example, E, F, F sharp, and D. Or you could also say like it's E7, F7, C sharp dim maybe as a, but the names are not that important. I don't want to get too much in theory, you know. Again, 9th fret could be like F sharp dominant 7, but I would rather name it C sharp diminished, because it's a substitute for A dominant 7 leading to the D minor. But that's theory talk, and really you don't need that a lot, you know. The thing is, theory can be useful, but most of music education all over the planet is concentrating way too much. It's almost annoying me about what to play and theoretical options instead of teaching the language of the music, the phrases. Let me give you this one example. Imagine you want to learn a language, a foreign language. You don't learn the alphabet and then try to mix it in a creative way to achieve something. That leads to nothing. What you learn is phrases. You imitate, assimilate, and when you know the language, you might be innovating. But first of all, you got to learn the language, because we are all masters of our mother tongue. We use them every day. We use it every day. That's where we're really good at, right? Still, what we say is just standard phrases. We have our own way of talking, which might be similar to other persons talking in a similar way. But the way we talk when speaking our mother tongue, it's not made up. It's not learning the alphabet, learning grammar, and then throwing it together in hope to achieve some innovative stuff. That's not how it's working. And you can transfer that to music 100%. Please keep that in mind. It's very important. So by using the bass notes to go back to the music, I would play like this. Using the same voicing. Isn't that great? So you can just like try out where to walk from one island to the other. And you can even try this out by yourself, you know, and you will, because you are an expert music listener, you will figure out yourself what's a good way to walk from here to here. You know, it has to do with the rhythm. You stay long on the A, you don't have so much time, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You can go earlier, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You can go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. These are the options you got, right? So still, there's other chord options. One is also when you play the minor 6 chord, you put the pinky on the B string. This is working for the D minor as well. It's not working for the E dominant 7 chord so well, because then you would have an F sharp here with the pinky, which isn't really a good note in a minor key. So other voicings that I played, for example, for the E dominant 7, is I played an open E, muting the bass note. It's just like, you can play it like you learned it, with the middle finger, ring finger, index, and pinky. I do it by placing my middle finger between 2 strings, and I use this chord a lot. And whenever I play this one, and I'm heading back for A, what I do is I'm using again the walking trick with the chord we learned before. 2nd fret, 4th fret, back to A minor. You could also go using that chord and, you know, let the index hold down the E in the 2nd fret, but this chord is better actually, because this is E with G sharp in the bass, but this is E dominant 7 flat 9 with G sharp in the bass, or G sharp dim when we're gonna back to this theory bullshit. But this is like how it's working. So this chord I consider as pretty important. I also like to play the normal E dominant 7 chord. And I like to play an E dominant 7 with D in the bass. This one is also beautiful. So it has D, pinky is playing G sharp, the index is playing B, and the ring finger is playing the root. That sounds fantastic. For example, playing like this. For the D minor now, I played B minor 7 flat 5, which is the most typical substitute for D minor 6. It is actually D minor 6, because minor 6, dominant 7, 9 and half diminished are the same chord, and you can use the voicing. So this could be D minor 6, it could be B half diminished, or it could be G dominant 7, 9. And this is a good theoretical thing to know. You need to know that you can substitute those. So the song might contain a G dominant 7 chord, like in All of Me. You can play this voicing. It might contain a 2-5 to A minor. You can use this voicing. It might be also possible, if you have a D minor chord, to play it as a D minor chord. That's what's done a lot in All of Me. And again, you can move it around. When you can play it 2nd fret as a D minor 6, you can play it 9th fret as an A minor 6. That's important. You can also play it as a dominant 7 augmented chord with a flat 13 by skipping it 3 frets up. You will end up having E dominant 7, this is the 7, G sharp the 3rd, this is the flat 13, and this is the flat 9. So it's E dominant 7 flat 9 with a flat 13. And this is also a good option to play rhythm guitar. Like that. Another important chord for the minor 6 voicing is this one, covering all 6 strings. The thumb will play the root, the middle finger will play E and A at the same time, the index will play C, and the ring finger will play F sharp and B, which makes it a A minor 6-9 chord. That's a hard one, but it's also worth learning it, because it really has a nice gypsy jazz sound. Because of the 5th in the bass, it's kind of woomy, covering all 6 strings. For a lot of rhythmical variations, this is a good choice. Here you will end up sounding like this. What I'm doing now, instead of D minor, I play F6-9, which is a perfect substitute for D minor, because F and D minor are more or less the same chord. F with D in the bass would be D minor 7. And D minor with F in the bass would be F6. So these chords are more or less the same, and you can switch all D minor chords to F chords in the voicings. That's what I just did. I played A minor 6 and F6-9. Sounds great. So if you want to play it like this, when I play the A minor again, before I switch to D, I like to play a chord that's not in the form. I like to play A dominant 7 right before the D. And for the D, I like to play this D minor 6 voicing. Just 3 notes, D, B and F. And the fun thing, this is exactly the same voicing that we had in the very beginning, just from the A string. It looks different because of the different interval from G to B, but it's the same chord. D, B, F, D, B, F. You can also play D minor 7. Some players at that point, when D minor shows up for the second time, they even play the Autumn Leaves progression, longing to play like... So, and actually this is what you can do in that song. A special thing in the end is, aside from these three chords, A minor, D minor and E7, when we go to the very last chord, or not the very last chord, I think it's the first chord of the last, let me guess, 4 bars, it's B flat major 6, which you can do again with this very complicated chord, with the thumb in the bass, 6th fret, then F, B flat, D, and G and C, or you can just play the standard jazz form for B6, B flat 6, with B flat, then the 6th, G, D, the 3rd, and F. Then going to E dominant 7. This is a nice turn. This is really cool to do it. So, and this is basically what I do. I like to substitute also, we were talking about substituting D minor with F. You can do the same with A minor and C. And there's a very good place to do that. Check this out. So I play the normal form. I stick to the very normal chord from the beginning. D minor, E dominant 7, A minor, D minor, and now I go to C6. Chromatically to B flat 6, and this is really cool. So you'll hear second time D minor, now C6, that's a great sound. So all these options work perfectly. Concerning the rhythm guitar, because that's asked a lot, there is a lot of different variations that you can do. And the rhythm guitar is still a very, let's say, it's a personal thing. Every great soloist likes a different rhythm guitar. Basically, you can see that the jazz manouche is coming from a kind of shuffled swing groove. If you play everything, all the notes, it will be shuffled 8 notes. And still I'm muting the strings. Do-ga, 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 do-ga. But we don't do that when we start the song. We would play quarter notes, but with the same approach. The movement of my hands is emphasizing the 8 notes still, and the muting process as well. So instead of doing these do-ga, do-ga, I'm doing this. And there's a lot of ways to do it. You can just play shorter notes, longer notes. You can have a little more upstroke, or no upstroke at all. For example, no upstroke would sound like this. Works pretty fine. Having the upstroke before the 1 and before the 3, except for the first one, sounds like this. When you do little fills, most of the time it's 1 and 3, 4. Like this. And this is like basically what we do in gypsy jazz. So, and concerning the right hand, you gotta play a little bit with a motion that feels like you're pushing the strings, or a motion that feels like a whiplash. You see, when you play, for example, only quarter notes, the first one might feel a little bit like this, while the second one has a long motion. Emphasizing the movement. You can hear that, you know, when swing players play, they sometimes do a movement with the hand that's unnecessary, just to emphasize the groove. Like, you know, or they play at the pretty much on the neck, you know. Stuff like that is not really necessary, but it helps to get in the groove, like kind of, you know, emphasizing the motion. So, as I said before, if you feel lost with the chord, too many chords, just get this package, follow the link in the description, and yeah, push the follow button. And for more performances and stuff like that, you can even book some private lessons. Just visit my website. The link is also below. That was Sven Jungbeck for you. Cheers, guys.